Hello, everybody, and welcome to Greensburg, Pennsylvania for tonight's matchup between the Seton Hill Griffins and the California Vulcans. My name is Andrew White. Joined alongside me is Noah Mitchell. And Noah, how are you feeling about tonight's matchup?
Hey, I'm feeling good. California is looking to rebound after a tough loss to Gannon a few days ago, and no better way to do it than on the road in this type of atmosphere here at Seton Hill.
Yeah, they actually have, for a smaller gym, they got a very charismatic crowd here. As they were pretty loud for the girls' game. Luckily, the Lady Vulcans, were able to pull away with the victory there, and we're hoping to see the same from the men's.
Yeah, they do a really good job of fitting the community here. A bigger gym might not suit the school just because of the turnout, but they do a good job of packing in the fans, and the voice and the noise travels well in here. It creates a loud environment.
Got the starting lineups going for tonight for the California Vulcans. Got number 5, KJ McClurg. Number 3, Zion Collins. Number 0, Jermaine Hall. Number 2, Bryson Lucas. And number 13, Donald Whitehead. And then for the Griffins, we have number 22, Ryan Meese. Number 2, Drew Green. Number 21, Demetrius Slaventis. Number 5, Jimmy Moon. And number 11, Kedrick Curtis.
Yeah, and talking about the freshman, Demetrius Slaventis from Greece. Most of the time in those leagues, when you're playing overseas, they're having to compete against guys that are much older than them, having to play in the professional leagues per se, just having to compete as amateurs, though. So it's interesting to see how that game travels overseas playing here in college basketball.
Him averaging 7.5 a game this year, shooting 42% from the floor, and has slowly earned his way into the starting lineup. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how his game kind of transitions into college basketball, as you said yourself.
Yeah, and then to start someone on that California side, obviously you have to point to KJ McClurg, shooting ridiculous field goal percentage and efficiency from the field, coming in at 55% from the field and 45% from three, 83% from the free throw line. It's just ridiculous numbers he's putting up, and he's showing why he's a national candidate to be Player of the Year.
First in the PSAC in three-point percentage and scoring. He's done it all this year for the Vulcans, and even in that loss against Gannon, he was able to put up 28 points on 15 shots from the floor. And he's just about as efficient as they come. So he's obviously somebody to watch every time coming on the floor for this Vulcan squad. And then also senior Jermaine Hall coming off a 21-point game in that loss to Gannon. He's been playing some good basketball as of late. And it'll be interesting. I'm sure they want to get him going often and early.
Yeah, you notice when Jermaine Hall gets his shot falling often and early, he becomes very dangerous. He's one of them guys where if he comes off the jump ball hot, look for him to put up big numbers in that game.
We have a jump ball with Bryson Lucas for the California Vulcans. And Jimmy Moon for the Seton Hill Griffins. As we're ready to get going here in Greensburg, the ball goes straight out of bounds off the hands of Jimmy Moon, and it's going to come back the other way. Jimmy Moon, when I was writing down the stats for this game, kind of reminded me of Jackie Moon from the Tropics, if anybody is a fan of that movie there, and gave me the same feeling when you got a picture of him. So we'll have to see if he takes into effect. A great backdoor cut there by Bryson Lucas, and the foul as he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you go up strong against defenders, force the defender into a position where they have to put contact on you, send you to the free throw line to convert 2 free throws.
Bryson Lucas going to the line, shooting 65% from the free throw strike this year. Not the best on the team, but also not the worst. Averaging just under 11 points a game and 6 rebounds for the redshirt sophomore. First one by Lucas, in and out, no good, as we are still scoreless. First 12 seconds of this game. As you were saying prior to the game, they do a really good job of just filling this gym with plenty of noise and plenty of enthusiasm as the fans, the cheerleaders, the student section, everybody gets involved very early, and more people were kind of crowding in as the guys' game started, so we'll have to see how that gets going. Right here already getting started here, the freshman Slaventis on the drive to pass out to Drew Green. Green gives it to Meese. Meese, the mid-range jumper, and it falls. Leading scorer for this Seton Hills Griffins gets going early.
Yeah, that's a great shot there by Meese. You can see California doing a lot, switching on ball when it comes to the screens. And a pretty decent switch there by Zion, just not able to affect the shot enough.
Zion back and forth with Whitehead in the middle of Lucas. Out to Whitehead on top. He didn't really shoot too much in that loss to Gannon, and I'm sure they're looking to get him going a little more than he was in that game. Jermaine Hall stuck with it, gets it to Whitehead. Whitehead puts it up. Some contact, but no call there. And coming back the other way is the Griffins.
Yeah, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of time for offenses to adjust to that zone, find the soft spots, and where they can take advantage of.
And ball on the floor, kind of getting tangled around there, and they're going to say that Seton Hill got a timeout in before the scrap got together. So, I mean, at least they were able to get Seton Hill to waste a timeout there, but a little bit of a surprise call off the rip.
Yeah, and California coming in ranked top 25 in the nation there, and it's because of plays like that. I know Seton Hill got the timeout called there, but championship effort, they're diving on the floor to try to go for those loose balls and get more possessions in their favor.
That's something we've been talking about all season, whether they're up 20, down 20, which hasn't really been too often, but regardless of what the score is, how much time's left in the game, California puts in the effort, and they play together as one. When I got a chance to talk to a couple of them for the Cal Times newspaper, that's really all they emphasized, was playing as one, the fact that their potential really has no ceiling, and that they want to play for each other and they want to win games.
And that's a testament to what Coach Sankum has come in and do to the program. You know, players on the court are a reflection of the coaching staff that Coach Sankum has put into place and his ideals that he believes in.
Pass in here to Moon. Moon in the high post, looking for somebody. He's going to pass it off to Slaventis. Slaventis over to Green. Green over to Curtis. Curtis on the drive, no good there. Moon with the rebound. The kick out to Green. Green with the long three contested, no good, and the rebound to Zion. It was kicked out of Zion's hand by Slaventis, and it'll come back for the Vulcans. This Vulcans team, like we said, had a heartbreaking loss to Gannon over the weekend, and I'm sure they're looking to bounce back strong and kind of just capitalize on this opportunity here. As not too long of a travel. It was only about 40 minutes from campus, and this will be about their closest away game on the season.
Yeah, we talk about it being a tough loss, but we can't take anything away from Gannon. I mean, Gannon's been a very competitive team in the conference for a couple years now.
And a miss there by Zion, and the rebound by Curtis. Curtis coming back the other way. Freshman averaging 13 points per game over his last 5. As he gets the roll there. Up with the left hand, and he's going to be able to finish over Lucas for 2.
Yeah, 6'7", using all of that height to his advantage there to be able to catch the ball over the smaller defender and then fight through some contact there to get the layup.
McClurg in the corner, finds Lucas, who then finds Jermaine Hall underneath, creates contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
And that's just a great job there. But Lucas being patient, trusting that number 0, Jermaine Hall is going to be able to get to that spot there and make a catch and try to get a shot up.
Bryson Lucas just done such a good job in his second season with the Vulcans, and being a redshirt sophomore, having one of his seasons kind of taken away from him, but he's able to produce early and often for this Vulcans team as Jermaine Hall connects on the first and gets California on the board. Seton Hill entering the game at 12-9 and 7-8 in conference play. California, like we said, 18-3. 12-3 in conference play, so tale of two sides as Jermaine Hall misses the second of 2 free throws. Slaventis at the top. He passes it over to Kendrick. Kendrick on the drive. Curtis up with the right hand, no good. The rebound by Lucas, and California coming back with it.
Yeah, I thought Curtis might have been able to get caught for a traveling violation there.
Lucas on the drive to the middle, gets it out to Hall. Hall for 3. Off the side of the rim and no good. KJ McClurg fighting down there for the rebound, but Jimmy Moon's going to come up with it.
Yeah, but that's still a good look there that Jermaine got. You see they're able to threaten the interior of that zone, make it condense down, and being able to kick out for a 3 that was pretty wide open.
The 3 there by Slaventis, and he gets going early as he connects on his first shot attempt for the night.
And that's always kind of been the thing with players that overseas. They're very, very well keyed in on their skills. They might not be the most athletic players, but when it comes to the skills, the shots, the dribbling, the passing, that's where they kind of excel at.
Bryson Lucas working the high post, gets it to Jermaine. Jermaine on the drive on the right side. He's going to put up the mid-range jumper and no good. Jimmy Moon with yet again another rebound as he might be up to 3 or 4. Slaventis handling the ball a lot here early on. He's going to get a little hand check there from Jermaine Hall. So we're going to have it looks like a full group substitution for the Griffins.
Yeah, you kind of see Seton Hill's philosophy coming into this game, keeping their guys fresh. California not known to go too deep into their bench. Seton Hill feel like if they can keep fresh legs on the court, they might be able to keep the pace up when playing the Vulcans.
Number 10, Caleb Whittaker. 4, Sean Dillon. 12, James Rice. 24, Camden Brewer. And 14, Brian Belade. All checking in for the Seton Hill Griffins. Pass over to Dillon. Dillon gets it to Camden Brewer. Brewer on the drive and the pass over. Caleb Whittaker with it now, the senior. And the deep three here from Brewer off the back rim. And Bryson Lucas comes down with another board. Zion Collins at the top. Picked up his dribble looking for somebody. Finds Bryson Lucas. Lucas picks it up, gets it to KJ McClurg. Pump fake the long two-pointer, and it falls.
Yeah, and that's the shot I seen him working on in the pregame there. The little pump fake at a closeout defender, ripping through, hitting a pull-up midi, and it's on display there in the game.
Caleb Whittaker with it, passes it. He's going to keep it down low. Goes up for the shot, no good. Bryson Lucas saves it from going out of bounds there, and the Vulcans coming back with it. KJ McClurg gets a little hand check there from James Rice, and that'll be Rice's first, as that'll take us to our first media timeout. Seton Hill with a 7-3 early lead here. And, I mean, it's only been 5 minutes into this game, but I feel like we've seen a lot from the Seton Hill Griffins early on. Yeah,
Seton Hill's definitely coming out aggressive. I mean, taking advantage of a little bit of a lid that's been on the hoop for the Vulcans. Eventually that lid's going to come off, though. We talked about the field goal percentage and the efficiency that the Vulcans have been playing with all year. Seton Hill really going to have to try to take advantage of this now while they can.
Like we said, Seton Hill trying to keep their guys fresh, bringing in a brand new 5 just a few minutes into the game. And, I mean, that just goes to show the long haul of the game and how this is a marathon, not necessarily a race. And California, like you said, doesn't really go too deep into their bench usually. About 7-8 guys potentially with Arnett, Slaughter, and Keith Palick coming off the bench for the majority of the season. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they can maybe take advantage of that second group coming in and what they can do in the long run. As this game, you know, it is a full 40 minutes, and we're only 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
Seeing that early substitution.
Yeah, so Seton Hill's coming in with their philosophy that they're going to be able to come 5 in, 5 out, and that's how they're going to be able to keep fresh legs. But the Vulcans are used to the rotation that they have been playing with all year, and they're in shape. You know, I mean, we're in the midway point of the season, getting into the later half. Guys aren't getting tired like that right now. I mean, they're in shape, in midseason form.
I think one of the things to kind of put in a note there also is, you know, when you bring in a new fresh 5, that 5 might have a better chemistry than if you were to just bring in, you know, one sub. And I'd have to say that's probably one of the strengths of the Griffins here tonight. As the inbound, a little bit of a struggle there, but it ends up in Whitehead's hands at the top. Zion gets it into Bryson. Bryson with the kick out to KJ McClurg, and you can't leave the leading scorer in the PSAC that much room as he connects on a 3. James Rice gets it to Brian Belade, and Belade with the beautiful cutting finish.
Yeah, that's a great finish there. Jermaine's, I mean, very athletic there, and surprising to come away with that block.
Belade acting like a blade, cutting through that defense there. And Jermaine Hall with a 3 from the corner off the feed from Whitehead, and that's just been Jermaine Hall's shot all year as he's been getting going from three-point land.
Yeah, and that's his confidence there. He's not worried about the closeout because he knows he can get his shot off before.
And the shot there by Sean Dillon will be waved off as there was a foul before the play. It looks like it might have been on Donald Whitehead there. It'll be his first of the contest. And if I'm not mistaken, this might be Whitehead's first start of the year. As usually DJ Slaughter starts, Whitehead comes in and plays the majority of the minutes, but tonight they decided to implement him into the lineup, and it's exciting to see as he's kind of coming off that ankle injury.
Yeah, and he's been giving the Vulcans great minutes. I mean, off the bench, they're looking at one of the top options off the bench. Putting that in the starting lineup now just makes him even more dangerous.
And a 3-pointer there by James Rice, sophomore out of Landover, Maryland. Kind of gets Seton Hall big lead here as they're up 3, regardless of the Vulcans' couple 3-point buckets. And the backdoor cut once again. Jermaine Hall is just unstoppable underneath the rim right now as he's able to cut for yet again another wide open layup.
Yeah, it's just a great understanding of the zone there.
Pass over to Brewer. Brewer gets it to Dillon. Dillon takes the 3 way off, and the save there by Palick, and Jermaine Hall bringing it down for the Vulcans. Zion Collins, a little bit of a spin move, loses it. Can't find anybody, gets it to Palick. Palick puts it up, and he'll get fouled. That's another one of our guys on the Vulcan squad that's kind of feeling his way back from injury, and he's done a great job as he's played a key part in this Vulcans team so far.
Yeah, a very important player to this Vulcans team. Like you said, coming back from a little bit of an injury, missing 11 games this season, but a very dangerous player. When you seen him last year when he was in that starting role, being able to bring him off the bench because you got Bryson Lucas giving great minutes in the starting role, it just shows how dangerous his team is.
Jimmy Moon checking back into the game for Brian Belade. Give them a little size down low as they were kind of realizing that Jermaine Hall was killing them on that backdoor cut, and Keith Palak at 6'8" is no small man. Antoine Arnett checking in for Jermaine Hall there. Arnett, the freshman, has played a viable role for this Vulcan squad as he's just been one of the most efficient players on the team, shooting 64% from the floor. It's exciting to see him getting going in his first year.
Yeah, and giving it to the Vulcans defensively too, with his length coming in at 6'6", with his athletic ability to be able to switch multiple positions.
Whitaker with the pass to Brewer. Brewer on the pump fake, the drive, and right there, just like you said, Antoine Arnett able to show his athleticism with the block. They do get it back, however. Sean Dillon puts it up, and I believe KJ McClurg caught a piece of that for a block. And I'm not sure what they're going to rule here. Is
Coach Sankum's over there, won that shot clock violation, and finally they ended up giving it to him.
Come back the other way in favor of the Vulcans. It's both Antoine Arnett and KJ McClurg able to get some blocks on that possession, and just to show that defense wins games a lot of the time. And California, with their first lead of the game so far, they want to start to extend on that a little bit. Keith Palak with the take to the left side, no good. Antoine Arnett with the rebound, but kind of loses it on his way down. Back comes Curtis. Curtis over to Dillon. Dillon on the drive, and nobody's even going to get near him as he finishes with the left hand.
Yeah, that's not something Coach Sankum wants to see, just a free and easy layup. You always want to contest there in some form.
Zion with the pass to the high post to Palak. Palak finds McClurg. He has just a couple feet of space. That's all he needs. Cannot connect on the three as Curtis with the rebound for the Griffins. Curtis at the top, guarded by Arnett. He's looking for Jimmy Moon down low. He finds him, and there ain't nobody there. Once again, they're just getting easy buckets down low.
Yeah, that's a great pass. They're very underrated coming from the freshman in his first year, being able to have that type of vision and ball handle to make that pass.
Kedrick Curtis has done a great job for this Griffins team, and it's going to be exciting to see what he can do tonight. As Whitehead, the mid-range jumper is no good. And right there, Curtis able to box out Arnett and draw a foul on him as he goes over the back.
Yeah, Arnett just being a little too aggressive there. I mean, fight for better position in there. You put yourself in a better chance to get that rebound.
Slaventis checking back into the game, as well as Drew Green and Ryan Meese. So it looks like we got the starting five back out here for this Seton Hill Griffins squad once again, as they kind of went from five to subbing a few in to subbing them all in, and now they're back to full strength. Slaventis bringing it in for the Griffins. Gets it to Green. Green over to Curtis, and Curtis to Meese. Curtis gets it back to the top, guarded by Arnett. Meese with it now, kind of gets Zion in a little bit of stuck range, and he connects on the three on a great little dribble drive, and is able to connect on the jumper.
Yeah, that was a great job there. Just noticing that Zion's eyes kind of left the defender. You're in no situation to notice a pull up there, taking advantage of it, and fortunately being able to knock it down.
Keith Palak gets a little bit of contact, but no call. He's going to pass out to Zion in the corner for three. Off the front rim and no good. KJ McClurg, a great rebound, but he was falling out of bounds. Kind of just had to throw it in, and Meese comes up with it for the Griffins. Over to Slaventis, and Slaventis guarded by the smaller Whitehead. He's going to try to take advantage of him. Takes it to the rim off the backboard and in.
Yeah, Slaventis, you can tell he's skilled with his footwork. They're confident. I mean, being a smaller guard, being able to turn his back to the basket and work out of the post.
California finds themselves down 8 early on. Not something they were probably expecting coming into this game, as the Griffins on a 9-0 run. Donald Whitehead, a great pump fake, finds McClurg in the corner. McClurg once again not able to connect, but that will go off Curtis and stay on this side, as that'll take us to our second media timeout of this first half, with Seton Hill up 21-13, a little 8-point lead for them. And I'll tell you what, that's about as good of a start as they could ask for.
Yeah, I mean, a perfect start if you're Seton Hill, coming out, executing the game plan to perfection, being aggressive. We're going right at the Vulcans, not thinking like, oh, we aren't as good as them. They're coming in with the aggression that they believe that they can play with them, and maybe just catching the Vulcans a little bit off guard. Like I said, it takes a little bit of time sometimes to adjust to that zone, but they're going to figure it out.
It's one of the key advantages in this PSAC, especially the West Division, is, you know, home court advantage is a real thing, and a lot of these schools have some prideful fans and some prideful, you know, students, cheerleaders, and whatever it may be, and just being able to host a good team like California here definitely gives you the upper hand.
Yeah, there was a group in front of us during the women's game, I mean, on their feet for an extended period of time. They've been loud so far. Look for them get up on their feet again. I mean, the Griffins are giving them a reason to be all into this game.
So far, the leading scorer for the Vulcans being Jermaine Hall with 6. Leading scorer for Seton Hill being both Curtis and Slaventis, both with 5, as the scoring's kind of been spread out on Hill's side of the ball. And I mean, I feel like that's probably where they're going to excel tonight, is just being able to move it and all play into their roles. Yeah,
I mean, going up and down the numbers here, the stats for this team, no one person truly pulling away in any category there. It just shows that it's a group effort, and whoever has the hot hand that night is going to be the one look to score.
Zion gets it on the inbound, back over to Donald Whitehead, who gets it passed into the high post. Back out to Zion. He loses it, and it's going to stay on this end with 5 on the shot clock.
Yeah, only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Like you said, going to have to come up with something faster.
Some kind of catch and shoot. The lucky part for them is that they have a lot of guys on this team that are able to shoot the ball, and all 4 of them, all 5 of them really, even with Palick as the inbound, can put up any kind of shot. As Zion pulls up from the top of the key right now is the fact that the Vulcans only with 3 fouls here in the first 16 minutes of this game, so hopefully they can go the majority of this game without foul trouble. As against Gannon on Saturday, they had their fair share of trouble in that department, as Whitehead kind of connects on the first one there.
And we're seeing that big group substitution again for Seton Hill. Definitely something that they came into this game knowing that they were going to do.
Let's go back to their starting lineup as Meese is left out there with Drew Green, Slaventis, Jimmy Moon, and Kedrick Curtis. Whitehead connects on the second free throw. The best free throw shooter on this team at 90% right now.
You know, I think the thing that's been so impressive about these group substitutions is that when the groups switch, they're not having much of a drop-off offensively or defensively. I mean, production's been the same.
It's kind of back to the point of maybe sometimes these groups just have better chemistry with each other than they would if they were to, you know, substitute out one guy for another or whatever it may be. And they've done a great job, like you said, of just kind of being able to keep up with Cal regardless who's on the floor. And minutes are very spread out tonight so far.
Yeah, and that comment about the chemistry definitely makes sense, because a lot of times in practice you're doing 1s versus 2s. These are the guys that you're practicing with on the team the majority of the time.
Great take there by Curtis, but not able to finish as Bryson Lucas pulls down yet another rebound, as he is up to 3 rebounds on the night. Collins with the pass, gets it back from Whitehead. Down the hall, over to McClurg. McClurg going to drive on the left side. Finds Jermaine Hall in the corner. He's going to take the 3 off the front rim and no good, and another rebound by Slaventis. Slaventis brings it down, finds Curtis. Curtis with the inbound pass to Jimmy Moon. They're going to call a foul, I believe, on Jermaine Hall there on the bounce pass to the inside. That's going to take us to our final media timeout of this first half. And we've seen a lot in this first 16 minutes as Seton Hall up 4, 31-27. I mean, I say both teams really moving the ball well and just trying to find the right opportunities. It's just been kind of not being able to capitalize on those opportunities that has been the only downfall so far.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the lead that Seton Hill jumped out to. You got to give credit to the Vulcans though for battling back, only down 4 here coming into the end of the first half. I mean, I said that they were going to start figuring out that zone, and I think we've seen that a little bit more as the half has gone on. Understanding that being quick in some instances and then switching it up with that patience, that has really worked out for the Vulcans.
Getting word from our producer here. We had a bit of an internet glitch there during the early parts of this first half, but we are back up and running. If you were able to stay with us, we appreciate that. And if you're just coming back, welcome back. As like we said, Seton Hill up 4 right now and just doing a great job of kind of standing toe-to-toe with this Vulcan squad.
Yeah, a team that's not coming in, backing down from the challenge. I said the Vulcans being ranked top 25 in the nation could be an intimidating factor coming in, but the Griffins not really caught off guard by that, ready to come in and play their game of basketball and show that we belong to be competitive too.
I would say the stat that jumps off the board at me right now is the fact that the Griffins are out-rebounding the Vulcans 17-9 and just playing a bit more physical. And when you're able to kind of out-physical your team, it's going to get you points even if, you know, it's not necessarily the percentages or the looks that you're getting. It's just about kind of being able to play harder. And Meese forces up a three from the corner there, and my goodness, he is just finding everything right now.
Yeah, you can tell he's one of them. He's finding it right now. Even with a great contest there, I mean, just feeling comfortable getting his shot up that this is his world and we're just living in it right now.
Halleck with the pass over to Collins. Down low to Lucas, back out to Halleck. He's going to pump fake, gets it to Collins, who has a little bit of separation, but chooses not to take the jumper. Loses the ball there. A little bit of miscommunication here for the Vulcans. 5 on the shot clock. They're going to have to get a shot up as they're put in the hands of McClurg. He puts it up, but the great defense by Jimmy Moon, and coming back are the Griffins. Drew Green with it now. He's going to drive to the right side. Stays on his pivot foot, puts it up, but they'll call the foul there on McClurg as he wasn't able to get the foul on the other end, but nonetheless, Drew Green going to the line for the Seton Hill Griffins.
You know, you talked about some of the statistic things that are jumping out to you, the field goal percentages, the rebound numbers, but the thing that's really catching my eye is the Seton Hill guards being very physical with the Vulcan defenders in that guard position, being able very comfortable getting down low, putting them in the post, and playing through them to create contact that's putting them to the free throw line, or they're converting through that contact.
Drew Green misses the first of 2 free throws there. Only a 59% free throw shooter on the year, so not really his forte at the free throw line as he doesn't connect on either of the 2. That was a great point you made there, though, as the guards really are just staying aggressive and making their shots as well. As I mean, we've seen Meese already connect on 3 threes here early on, and that's a big part of this game when you're able to score in bulk. Cross-court pass there by Palak to McClurg. He's going to get it back to Palak, but a foul before the pass.
You can just tell how much respect that McClurg has drawn from defenders with his shot-making ability. I mean, just any slight little pump fake, and guys are flying past him off their feet to try to contest that shot, and he's doing a good job of reacting and just going under it and trying to find a better spot on the floor to make that shot or pass.
As the president of the McClurg fan club is not present with us tonight, and Nate, I'm sure he would be talking very highly of McClurg as he's kind of gotten going a little bit so far. Nothing too crazy, but able to connect on the first of 2 free throws there. He just does such a good job of being so efficient from every spot on the floor. I mean, when you're able to shoot over 50% with over 250 attempts as a guard, especially only 6'3", it goes to show the kind of heart that you have and how efficient you are able to be.
Yeah, it's very impressive. You see another rebound there offensively, second chance points. But going back to KJ McClurg, he doesn't force a lot of shots either. He takes really what's given to him and creates better shots for him.
Bryson Lucas with a great mid-range jumper there to answer the Jimmy Moon rebound and putback. And this game really has been back and forth. California's been fighting from behind for the majority of it, but they're not letting themselves get too far behind. It's right there, Slaventis with a great take, and he can't believe he didn't finish that, as he'll go to the line for 2 instead of trying to capitalize on a 3-point play.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing a little bit of we've seen the Vulcans get beat in the interior a lot on some of these layups. We're not getting great contests. More so just reaching to try to contest instead of sliding our feet to try to put a body between the defender and the rim.
Slaventis, a 76% free throw shooter on the year, connects on the first. He's kind of taken in the role of Gabe Gillespie, who was a starter coming into the year for this Griffins team. He averaged 10 points and 6 rebounds prior to getting hurt towards the end of December and hasn't been able to play since. And that's just kind of allowed Slaventis to blossom and step into a role as a starter on this team. And he's doing good tonight as he's up to 7 points.
Already hit his average on the season.
Donald Whitehead with the pass to Lucas, back out to Whitehead. He's going to drive, get it back to Lucas, who's left all alone. And another mid-range jumper falls. That's something they work on a lot in practice. They get a lot of shots up, and Bryson Lucas always looks money in practice, so you don't want to give him that kind of space.
Yeah, and it's good to see him taking those shots from practice and translating them to his game.
That's going to be a travel there by Kedrick Curtis. Freshman from Baltimore, just a little bit too quick on his feet as he turns it over there for the Griffins. This team is just so young and really just play together as they have a couple freshmen that are really playing some key roles for them. in Slaventis and Curtis. Keith Palick, the pass out to Collins. Collins going to put it up. He'll get fouled. And that's on Slaventis there. I believe that is his first of the contest. And that is their 11th of the game so far. Zion Collins at the free throw line. Connects on the first. Senior was able to jump into 8th place on the scoring list all time for California in their last game, as he is only the 8th player all time to get over 1,600 career points for this Vulcans university.
Yeah, that's just very impressive. I mean, Zion, a guy who's come into this program and had an impact since he was a freshman, being led by another great scorer that's on that top 10 list, Brent Pegram, and just being able to continue to grow and learn from what he had and implement his own game into it. Congratulations to Zion on his scoring accomplishments.
One of the better scorers the Vulcans have seen in their history, really. And like you said, I mean, we've had a couple guys in the last, decade or so that have been able to kind of creep up into that.
Yeah, and another player on the team, Jermaine Hall, who has had that same impact since he was a freshman on the team, getting up there and scoring as well.
Jermaine up to about just over 1,200 points for this Vulcans team in his senior year now, so won't quite reach the status of Zion, but he's done his fair share here for the Vulcan organization. Zion gets it to Whitehead, and Whitehead on the little bit of a mishandled pass, but nonetheless, Bryson Lucas still gets it back out to him. Looking for something here as they're going back and forth up top. They get it to Lucas. Lucas with another mid-range jumper, and he is just money right now, feeling it in the last couple minutes of this half.
Yeah, if he can keep knocking those down, we'll see this lead shrink down to nothing very, very quickly.
Only a 1-point lead now for Seton Hill as they're looking to try to stay ahead, but going into halftime, and California's looking to capitalize on it. That's going to be an and one there for Kedrick Curtis. What a great take, and it's kind of interesting because Bryson Lucas made a little bit of contact with the rim, and the ball still found the net, so I'm not sure. I believe that would have been goaltending regardless,
yeah,
but
I think so.
I mean, nonetheless, Curtis still was able to finish, and he's going to try to capitalize here on a three-point play.
I don't know how it looks on our broadcast view, but I mean, Curtis looks very big. He looks all of 6'7", and he has the weight to go with it too. He's not one of them slender guys out there.
Curtis doing a good job so far, not able to capitalize on the free throw there. The timeout for the Vulcans as they find themselves down 3 points in the last 30 seconds of this first half. I mean, they haven't been in too many deficits this year, but every time they've been able to answer well. And I mean, even in that Gannon game on Saturday, they fell down by as many as 18 points and then went on a little 26-5 run to take a big lead towards the end of that game and just couldn't really finish it out. But they are not unaware or unfriendly with being in deficits, but they're always able to answer, and I'm sure we're going to be in for a nice little play coming out of the timeout here in an exciting second half as well.
Yeah, and as athletes and especially as coaches, you got to love adversity, because adversity really builds character here in these situations, and it's going to prepare you for the test later on down the road when they're playing in the very important games in the conference tournament. If they can be so lucky to get into the national tournament, being able to be ready for those situations in those important games. I mean, this is just great practice for them.
Vulcans on a quest to be able to host PSAC tournament game, as they are number 2 in the conference right now and only trailing Gannon after that loss on Saturday. So, I mean, you just have to hope that they can do their job and all the other pieces will fall into place for them to be able to host a game or two, or maybe even the whole tournament at the Convocation Center. Zion gets it in to Whitehead and back to Collins. A little bit of a press here from Seton Hill in these last couple seconds. We just don't want to give anything easy and let them set up a play. But regardless, with just over 15 to go here, they're going to set it up. I'm sure they're going to go at 10. I'm looking at KJ McClurg right now over in that corner with nobody near him. Got to wonder if he'll get it. As Zion gets it over to Whitehead, to McClurg. He's going to pump fake 4-3. And man, what an on-time call as he ties up the game going into halftime, as we are all tied up at 40. And we'll be right back here on the PSAC Network and CUTV Sports 1 for what should be an exciting second half. Stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and welcome back as we are back here in Greensburg for tonight's matchup between Seton Hill and Cal U. The score being 40-40 coming out of the half, and really an exciting first half we got there so far. Don't you think, Noah?
Yeah, it was a very exciting first half there. I think the one thing that we got to keep in mind, though, when we're looking at the Vulcans and how they're playing today, we're used to them being so dominant in their performances that it doesn't sometimes feel like this game is 40-40. Teams aren't always going to have these dominant performances, and it's about gritting through the tough ones is what's going to make the team great.
Like you said, they were kind of just trying to get on the same page throughout the first half of that first half, and I mean, we saw in those last couple minutes they were really just starting to catch fire and play as one, and I think we're in for an exciting second half here that the Vulcans are going to be much more prepared for than that first half.
Yeah, halftime is always a great time for Coach Seton to go into that locker room, give adjustments, whether it be game plan adjustments or just needing to talk to your team and get them in the right mindset. And I think towards the end of that first half, like you said, we've seen the Vulcans playing a little bit better, being able to attack that zone more efficiently and look for that to translate coming out of halftime.
For the Vulcans, KJ McClurg leading scorer with 12 points in that first half, 4 for 7 from the floor, 2 for 4 from beyond the arc. And then you had Bryson Lucas with 8, connecting on all 3 of his mid-range jumpers that we saw towards the end of that first half, which I thought was pretty impressive. I mean, he's got 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists to go along with it. So, or actually, I'm sorry, 5 rebounds and 3 assists to go along with it. So really filling the stat sheet up tonight. And over on the other side for Seton Hill, the only player in double figures is Ryan Meese. He's 4 for 4 from the floor and 3 for 3 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, I mean, a player that just, obviously, you reading that stat line has not been able to miss today. And some of his shots have not even been clearly wide open. He's just so confident in the way that he's playing right now that if he gets a sliver of space that he can get up, he feels confident in it going in.
So far, Seton Hill shooting 16 for 30 on the night, just around 55%-ish. California 12 for 26, shooting 46%. So both teams kind of hovering around that 50% mark. And, you know, I mean, that's really all you can ask for coming out of the halftime break.
And something important to remember, California struggling with that field goal percentage early in the first half, really picking up that percentage towards the second half. I mean, for the second half, they were probably shooting upwards of 50%, probably in near that 60% range.
Yeah, they really did a good job of kind of coming together and starting to play their brand of basketball towards the back part of that first half. And Seton Hill getting the ball to come out of the halftime break here. We got the starting 5 out there for both teams. Ryan Meese, Drew Green, Demetrius Levant. I will never get this name right. Slaventis, Jimmy Moon, and Kedrick Curtis. And then for the Vulcans, KJ McClurg, Zion Collins, Jermaine Hall, Bryson Lucas, and Donald Whitehead. Curtis kind of sizing up McClurg, but he's going to say no and pickpocket him as California with an early forced turnover. Donald Whitehead at the top, setting it up for the Vulcans. Gets it to McClurg, who's looking around, and gets it to Zion at the top. Finds Jermaine Hall at the high post. He's going to shoot the jumper, no good. And the putback slam by Bryson Lucas as he raises above the rim for the Vulcans.
Yeah, and that's what he's going to give you. I mean, a ton of effort, a ton of athleticism, and those highlight plays on the offensive side of the court.
He had a good highlight play in their game last week against Edinburgh, too, where he was able to cut down the middle and just slam it home for 2. And once again, kind of showing off his athleticism there as the redshirt sophomore. Really just bringing the spark to this California team coming out of the break. California with a 2-point lead, if I'm not mistaken. This might be one of their first, yes, is their second lead of the game, but the first lead only lasted 33 seconds. So one of their better leads so far. Slaventis, pass over to Green. Green up top to Meese, who pump fakes. Can't give him any room, as we kind of noticed in the first half. Green over to Jimmy Moon, and Jimmy Moon, a fadeaway 3 at the shot clock buzzer is going to be no good. And you would think that a big man like that might not be used to taking shots like that, but Jimmy Moon actually a 36% shooter, shooting over 100 threes this year. I believe he's second on the team in 3-point attempts. So, you know, you never know.
That field goal percentage is always going to drop, though, when you got that hand in the face like that. That was a great possession there by the Vulcans to force that shot clock violation.
Whitehead and Hall giving it back and forth to each other at the top. Whitehead almost shoots it, does not. Gets it over to Zion, who passes it to McClurg. Gets a little bit of separation. The 2-point jumper is good.
Yeah, KJ McClurg in that first half there took a lot of contact. Look at him there dishing out the contact to create his separation to get his bucket.
McClurg always really good at creating contact, finishing at the rim, and doing whatever he can. Is right there, Slaventis finishing at the rim with just the right hand itself. But back to your point on McClurg, I mean, really leading all of the PSAC right now, it seems like, at least, in charge is taken, and just being able to always create contact on both sides of the floor. A great find there from Lucas as he picks up his 4th assist of the game on the Jermaine Hall lay-in.
Yeah, Lucas is really stepping up, and we've seen him start to get hot towards the end of that first half and just carrying over into the second half, and he doesn't need to just be scoring to make it happen. You see the great pass there to Jermaine where he's able to finish through a lot of traffic there and get 2 points for the Vulcans.
I mean, I don't want to ever speak too soon, and I'm sure, you know, it might be a little bit far-fetched, but Bryson Lucas could potentially be on triple-double watch. 10 points, 6 rebounds, and now I believe that was his 4th assist. You never know. This guy can really do it all, and
yeah,
he's been carrying the weight tonight for the Vulcans.
Yeah, and he's not – I know it says he's a redshirt sophomore, but the guy has been in the program for 3 years. He knows what's going on. He knows his teammates very well, and that's what is sometimes the most important thing to playing the game.
Bryson Lucas, like we said earlier, 11 points per game on the season, 6 rebounds, so he's already at both of those marks really in this game, and I mean, he's just continuing to show off his all-around skill set, and I'm just going back to that putback slam. I wish we had replays on tonight because I would watch that thing over and over again as he was just up above the rim, sailing above everybody's heads, but on both Seton Hill and the Vulcans.
And I think that's what's been so fun about watching this Vulcan team this year is just how many highlight plays they're able to make, and everybody's putting up those type of plays, whether it be crossing somebody over and being able to knock down a three, or the tremendous athleticism and length that this team just possesses this year.
Talking to a few of them, I mean, Coach Danny Sankum just really trusts this group, and he allows them to kind of go for some of these highlight plays and just kind of rely on their athleticism in a lot of ways rather than, you know, setting up a strict offense that everybody needs to be in a certain spot. You really just try to find your best shot in the most efficient way possible, and they've done a great job of that all year.
Yeah, and you know, playing football, we have terminologies that we use. There's always a scheme and a system that goes into it, but eventually you just got to let your God-given ability take over and from there.
It's a great point there. Right here, the three-pointer by Brewer, and that'll fall as he almost stepped on the line, but I believe he was just behind it, as that's going to be the first three of the half for either one of these squads and cuts the lead down to 1. Zion Collins with the pass into Bryson Lucas, back out to Collins. He'll take a three, and he'll hit it, as that's now, I believe, his first three-pointer of the night, and his first shot of the night, actually. He had 2 points earlier on some free throws, so his first field goal of the evening.
Yeah, I love the thing about Zion. No matter how much he's struggling, he knows that, like we said, top 10 in scoring for a reason. He's going to get his shots up because he's confident in it.
Brewer on the aggressive drive after the three and the and one. And a little bit of a spark here for Camden Brewer coming off the bench. The freshman from York, PA, just really showing something here for the Seton Hill Griffins.
Yeah, like you said, showing something, being able to knock down the outside three and show that he can get inside the paint and fight through some contact to put himself in a situation for an and one opportunity.
You know, personally, I'm not really a fan of shoes that don't match the jersey, but I'm not going to lie, those highlighter Nikes that he's got on his feet right now are really kind of jumping off the board right now, and he's doing a good job of kind of creating a spark for this Seton Hill offense.
And that's the thing I've always really enjoyed about basketball. We can't so much in football, but just the creativity and the difference that everybody has on their feet just brings a little more excitement to the game.
Whitehead with the pass over to Collins. Collins finds Lucas in the middle, who gets it back to Collins. Finds Jermaine Hall down low. He's going to look for it off the board, just barely off. And Bryson Lucas with his first miss of the night as he was kind of fading away there. The pass over to Brewer. He almost shot it again, and that would have set this place on fire as he passes it out to Sean Dillon. Dillon with the pass to Belade. Belade on the drive on the smaller Whitehead. Cannot finish, but Brewer with the rebound as he's underneath there, kind of stuck, and he throws it off of Zion, and it's going to go out as it'll stay on this end.
Just a smart play there to notice that you're trapped nowhere really to go with the ball, throwing it off the defender. But Zion's athleticism almost allowed him to catch that ball and being able to save it.
He almost jumped over that ball, too, as well as he really just tried to clear his feet, but I think he actually landed on the baseline, which caused the turnover, but, well, I guess not turnover, but it's staying on this end. And there again, another and one. This time by Kedrick Curtis, as he's able to kind of stay on the pivot foot and maneuver and create some contact.
Yeah, the Griffins are doing a great job of really scoring on all levels. We've seen them have a lot of success with the three ball, but that all starts with the interior play that they're having. I mean, nobody really coming to help, leaving smaller guards in tough predicaments.
Curtis, 69% free throw shooter on the year. Connects and capitalizes on the and one and gives Seton Hill the lead back at a score of 50-49 here with 16 minutes to play in this contest.
This is the exciting finish that we talked about at the beginning of the half. And I mean, if you're a basketball fan, you can't want nothing more than this.
Donald Whitehead with it. He's going to get it over to Collins. Once again, they're just going to start moving it back and forth here at the top, kind of seeing what the defense gives them. Over to Lucas, out to Collins. 4-3 again, no good. But the follow-up by McClurg, no good. The follow-up there by Jermaine Hall, also no good.
Yeah, a ton of contact down there. As we create the turnover there, this is showtime.
And another and one, as once again Bryson Lucas able to finish at the rim, create some contact, and gives California that spark once again. That's going to take us to our first media timeout of the second half, but Bryson Lucas just coming out of the gate swinging here with some electric plays.
Yeah, and hopefully he continues to be aggressive, and his teammates notice the spark that he's giving them on the offensive side of the court, keep getting him the ball where he's making great decisions to what to do. He's not forcing shots every time. He's creating the best situation possible for the Vulcans to get a good offensive possession and points on the board.
Something we talked about earlier is the fact that none of these Vulcans really in too much foul trouble. They only had, I believe it was 6 fouls, maybe 7 in that first half. And the only person really with more than 2, Donald Whitehead has 3 right now, and Palick with 2 and only 11 minutes of play. But I mean, all in all, they're not going to really have to worry about, anybody not being able to be on the floor late in this game. And it's going to be exciting. It's always good to see teams able to play at full strength because they're able to play solid defense.
Yeah, you talk about Whitehead having those 3 fouls. Even if it were to get into some foul trouble, we still haven't even seen DJ Slaughter come off the bench, who's been a valuable asset to this team.
It's very true. DJ Slaughter with, I believe it was like 15 or 16 starts on the season this year. He was more of the go-to guy in the beginning, and then Whitehead would kind of fill in for him. But yeah, I mean, it's a great point. Slaughter hasn't even seen the floor yet tonight. And to be honest, this team has so many guys that can also handle the ball. KJ McClurg, Zion Collins. I mean, even Jermaine Hall can handle it himself. So I will say Whitehead kind of brings a second level to this team, allowing KJ McClurg and Zion Collins to kind of work more off the ball and create opportunities for them, which he thrives on. Being able to talk to him the other day was kind of inspiring to hear that he's more worried about being able to create plays for his teammates, and the plays for him he knows will come, and he just kind of lets the game come to him, and it's fun to watch. So we got to hope that he either stays at those 3 fouls or doesn't get himself in any more foul trouble as Lucas connects on the free throw and capitalizes on the 3-point play. 3-point lead here for Cal U. 15 minutes, just over 15 minutes to play. And Sean Dillon with it right now. Pass over to Brewer, who's had a little bit of a spark going early in this second half. Back out to Dillon, gets it to Rice. Rice on the drive. The great contest by Bryson Lucas, but Rice finishes anyway. Now the Vulcans kind of getting off and running. Donald Whitehead finds Jermaine Hall, who finds Bryson Lucas, gets it to Zion, who gets fouled, and he's going to go to the line for 2.
It just seems like good things happen when Bryson Lucas has touched the ball today. I mean, he could have easily tried to force up a layup there, go for the highlight dunk, but instead taking the extra pass there to Zion to get him to the free throw line for a spot where he's pretty comfortable at.
Something we've stressed all season. It seems like this team just kind of takes it to a different dynamic when Bryson Lucas is out there on the floor making plays, and he's such an important part to this just whole offense and defensive scheme, honestly, as he's able to kind of hold down the weight in down low on defense as well. Zion Collins makes the first free throw. Now here on the second, he will miss off the front rim, but California is still holding a 2-point lead. Caleb Whitaker hands it off to Ryan Meese, gets it over to Blade. Blade looking for somebody, kind of daring him to shoot a little bit as he gets it to Caleb Whitaker. Whitaker on the take, They're going to say the foul was on the floor before the bucket.
Yeah, just a little bit too much body there by Bryson Lucas.
And Bryson Lucas can afford to play a little bit of aggressive defense in this half, as that was only his first foul of the game. That's always good to see when you're able to kind of play a little bit more aggressive in the second half as opposed to the first half. You don't have to really worry about creating too much contact. As Meese looking for the jumper there, Whitehead steps up and causes him to pass it over to Green. Green with it now, dribbling all around, looking for somebody, finds Meese. The tip by Whitehead, but still gets in Meese's hands. And Meese kind of just throws it away on a lazy, lackadaisy pass, and it's going to go back the other way for the Balkans.
Yeah, and I think that was a little bit of a panic of the shot clock getting so low there. Nobody just really feeling comfortable with what to do in that situation.
It's been something the Balkans have been able to do pretty well tonight, kind of forcing the shot clock to get really low for the Griffins, and Griffins not as comfortable in that aspect. As KJ McClurg looking for the foul there on the floater, doesn't find anything, but I believe they will call a foul there against the Balkans. I'm not sure who they marked that up for. That was for Zion. Must have been on a little reach on the rebound, but Seton Hill coming back the other way, trying to either tie this game or potentially take the lead with a three. They were leading much of this game and find themselves behind early in the second half, but not allowing the deficit to get too high and trying to control the tempo of this game. Caleb Whitaker on the drive, kind of loses it a little bit. Goes up with the floater, and man, that's about the third or fourth time that he's connected on a nice little floater in the middle, and he's looking good.
Yeah, that's just one of those situations where you just kind of get the ball back and everybody's in scramble mode, and you find yourself with a good look at the basket.
Bryson Lucas, pass over to Zion, over to McClurg, to Whitehead, just drives into the wall of Jimmy Moon. Out to Zion, he'll force up a three, and he'll connect. And anytime you can get Zion Williams going from beyond the arc, you have trouble with the opposing team.
Yeah, Zion Collins is just a special player offensively there. I talked about, you said not making a single shot in the first half, coming out aggressive still in the second half, knowing that he's going to get his.
The foul there once again on the floor, and maybe I spoke too soon talking about nobody in foul trouble, as people are starting to pick up more and more fouls for the Balkans, as both Curtis and Slaventis check in for the Griffins. And we're back to the starting five, as they've kind of just been rotating all night, and it's really an interesting strategy to see from their coach, but I mean, it's worked pretty well as they're still only down three.
Had a lot of success with it in the first half.
Slaventis, pass out to Meese. Meese looking for the screen from Moon. He's going to shoot a deep three here, and let's see if he connects. No good. His first miss of the night from beyond the arc. Bryson Lucas gets it up to Zion, who finds McClurg, but the three-pointer by him no good. And once again, a reach by Zion Collins, and they're up to either, I don't know if that's their sixth or seventh foul. I'm not sure if looks like it's the sixth foul of this second half already in the first 7 minutes of the game. So,
yeah, you know, it's funny you made that comment in the first half of nobody really being in foul trouble. The team fouls reversed. Seton Hill had a bunch of team fouls. And California playing very, very disciplined defense, and now the role has kind of switched.
Any fouls from here on out from the Balkans will send Seton Hill Griffins to the free throw line for at least the 1-on-1. Ryan Meese with it now, guarded by Jermaine Hall. Gets it over to Curtis. Curtis on the aggressive drive, kicks it out to Moon. Moon going to take the three from the corner. And like I said earlier, he is not afraid to shoot that three ball as he connects on his first of the night. The aggressive pass there by Zion Collins gets tipped all around, and it ends up out of bounds, and they're going to say it stays on this side.
Yeah, we talked about that shot there by Jimmy Moon, just being able to be set up there in that corner, waiting on that pass, and he knew it in his head before the pass even came to him that he was shooting that shot if he got the ball.
Jimmy Moon, a big man of 6'9", 104 three-pointers coming into the game, and 131 shots. So, I mean, the majority of his shots coming from outside the arc. It's a great take there by Curtis as he created some contact, no call, but he does finish at the rim.
And this is a great job of him getting back on offense. We see Seton Hill couldn't get back there and got a good shot by Whitehead.
Whitehead recovers well as he kind of gets behind Jermaine. Jermaine hands it off to him, and he connects on the mid-range floater. California with a 2-point lead here, just under 12 to play. Next dead ball will be a media timeout. As Slaventis, just pulls up for three right in the face of Zion Collins, and the freshman really making an impact for the squad tonight.
Yeah, he felt Zion go under that screen, and that's all the room he needed to feel comfortable getting that shot off.
Leventis up to 12 points on the night, really playing a crucial role for this Griffin squad. Keith Palak getting his trash talk going a little bit as he kind of got in Jimmy Moon's face there.
Things are getting chippy out there a little bit.
Tell you what, and when things do get chippy, Keith Palak's the first one that you'll see kind of get involved, as he's very energetic and emotional player, and he likes to win. So anytime that he is on that floor, he's going to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard LeBron James say it, and I think it kind of translates to this whole California Vulcans team. Careful poking that bear.
That's very true. As California's been at the top of the standings for the majority of the season, and I mean, coming off a tough loss on Saturday, I'm sure they have a bit of a chip on their shoulder, and they want this game bad. And I'm sure Seton Hill wants it just as bad, but you can tell emotions are starting to get high, and with the fouls starting to pick up, they're playing a little more aggressive on both ends of the ball.
Real quickly, talking about physicality, just want to give a quick shout out to all the recent signees that we had today, as National Signing Day was today. Congratulations to all the guys joining the Cal U football team. Great future, great decision that y'all have made to commit here, and we're excited to get things going.
Love that shout out there. As we look ahead here for California, they will host Slippery Rock on Saturday, like we talked about. Next Wednesday, they will host Clarion, and then the following Wednesday, they travel to Pitt Johnstown. So stay tuned to CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network if you are looking to kind of keep up to date with this Vulcan squad. And for any extra information that you need, just visit calvulcans.com. You'll find all the statistics and everything by our SID, Matt Kiefer. Shout out to him as well. Zion Collins, the pass into Jermaine. He's going to get it out to McClurg. Back over to Hall. And they're going to call a foul there as Hall kind of threw a pass that was deflected by Slaventis, and they're going to say Slaventis kind of caught him on the arm there. It's only his second foul of the game, so nothing too crazy to worry about there. The only people with 3 fouls in this game are James Rice and Donald Whitehead. Whitehead with the pass over to Hall. Hall on the drive. He's going to take it in. Get it out to Palak. Palak's going to force up a 3 off the rim and no good, and Meese with the rebound.
A pretty decent ball movement there, though. Hard to be mad at that possession.
Meese guarded by Collins. He's going to get it over to Whitaker. Whitaker in the middle, guarded by Palak. Great defense, but Whitaker able to create some contact and finish at the rim for the and one.
And that's just Whitaker's whole game. You can tell he's not even looking to take a jump shot. He just wants to lower his shoulder and try to go through your chest to get to that rim.
Caleb Whitaker, 3 for 4 from the floor tonight. Just being able to kind of do everything for this team. He is 0 for 2 from the free throw line so far, but you got to see if he can capitalize on his first one here. The free throw is good. All of a sudden, Seton Hill thrown out to a 4-point lead here, as they were kind of fighting from behind early on in the second half.
Yeah, and you can hear the fans really starting to get back into this game now with their Griffins up 4 points.
Passing back and forth between Collins and Whitehead. They get it in the middle to Palak. Palak finds Collins on the right side for 3 from the wing, and once again, Zion Collins connecting from deep.
Yeah, his third 3 of the second half. I mean, he's really starting to heat up behind that arc. You want to keep trying to find ways to get him the ball with good looks to keep being able to knock down that shot.
You don't end up on top 10 in scoring for any university by luck or anything like that, so you got to make sure you keep an eye on him if you're the Griffins. As Belade kind of recovers the loose ball there. Slaventis with it now. Goes up with the floater over Palak, no good, and the rebound by Jermaine Hall. Collins coming back the other way. He gets it to Palak. Palak gets it over to McClurg. McClurg for 3 off the front rim and no good. But Donald Whitehead gets the far rebound, gets it back to McClurg. Another 3, and that's exactly why you don't give up on the play, as McClurg gives California their lead back.
Yeah, and if somebody's shooting 50% from behind the 3-point, or nearly 50% behind the 3-point line, if you miss the first one, odds are the second one's going in.
I mean, just look at the numbers, and that'll tell you all you need to know is right there. There's going to be a foul on Jermaine Hall. That'll be his third, so that's something to look out for him. And that will send Seton Hill to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Like we said, that's their 7th foul, well, 8th foul actually of this half. So any fouls from here on out will send them to the free throw line.
Yeah, still with nearly 10 minutes left to go in this game. It's still a lot of time to the Griffins to create opportunities at the free throw line.
You really look at it from 2 ways. You want to keep playing aggressive because you want to get to the free throw line because you know you will anytime now on any kind of hand check or blocking foul or anything. And also, they only have 4 fouls. So if they were to pick up some, they're not really in too much of a position that, you know, is risky by their means or anything. So kind of a little bit of an advantage to Seton Hill here late as they're able to play as aggressive as they want. Belade was able to connect on that first free throw, cuts it down to 1, and the second free throw to tie it. Belade checks out of the game for big guy Jimmy Moon, and he gets a warm welcome from the bench as he was able to capitalize on both free throws there. Donald Whitehead with it now. Shot clock was a little bit delayed there starting, but I'm not sure if I just maybe saw it wrong or not, but the feed down low to Palak is going to get tipped out by Moon, and it'll stay on this end. Jimmy Moon's done a great job of just being the defensive anchor for this Griffins team down low, as he's just kind of a big brick wall down there that, you know, anywhere around the restricted area, you're going to run into him. Donald Whitehead over to Hall. Hall over to Collins. Back over to Whitehead. Whitehead on the wing for 3, and he connects.
That's a great pass there by Zion, being able to split 2 defenders to get Whitehead an open look from 3.
And that's kind of what Zion's couple shots have done for him now that when he gets the ball, the defense really has to pay attention to him, and he was able to find his teammate there for 3 as he traveled there by Camden Brewer before the shot.
Yeah, a little bit of a James Harden sidestep 3 there, not letting that fly at the college level today.
Yeah, that's not gonna sneak by these refs here at the D2 level. Might sneak by a couple of the refs on the NBA side as they're just more about the entertainment portion, but Donald Whitehead now gets it to Collins. Collins over to Palak, the mid-range jumper, and that falls again. And this team is just looking good with their jumpers right now.
Yeah, this really just been a game of runs for both teams. We see one team jump up by 4 or 5 points, and then the other team coming back and being able to jump up by a little bit of a lead on their own.
California now up to a 5-point lead after falling down by 4, like you were saying. Whitaker on the turnaround jumper, no good. Gets his own rebound out to Moon, top of the key 3. Man, this guy likes to shoot it, I tell you what. Big connection there by Jimmy Moon to cut the lead down to 2.
Yeah, very slept-on shooter there. You look at his build, you're not expecting him to step out at the three-point line, more so looking at some cornhole bags in the backyard, but being able to show some athleticism here.
That's the turnover there by Palak, and Whitaker coming back the other way, a little 3-on-2, but they're going to kind of slow it down. It's out to Moon. He almost shot that over Jermaine Hall, and it would have been quite the heat check. He's going to set the screen here for Rice. He finds Moon down low, and this is where you think he would excel, and he does as he finishes at the rim and ties this game up.
Yeah, ties it up nearly all by himself there with the three-pointer and then the pick and roll, being able to finish on the other side of the hoop.
Moon up to 10 points on the night, 5 rebounds. He's doing a great job all around, 4 for 6 from the floor, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. KJ McClurg on the drive. They're going to call the foul before the shot goes up, and that'll be the 5th foul of the half for Seton Hill. And that'll take us to our second to last media timeout here in this contest, and things are really heating up here in Greensburg.
It's going to be a great finish, 71-71. We talked about the high-scoring game that the Vulcans played last time with Gannon. In this game, looking to reach those exciting numbers as well.
Seton Hill shooting an impressive 61% on the night and 60% from 3 as they are 9 for 15 from beyond the arc and 28 for 46 overall. I mean, when you're talking about bringing your best against the best, that's what they're doing here tonight.
And that field goal percentage, that team field goal percentage you talked about being carried by 2 players in specific I can think about is Jimmy Moon and Ryan Meese. I mean, 2 players that have just been shooting the ball lights out, being very efficient, making the most of their opportunities with the ball in their hands.
I mean, you look around, there's not a single guy on this team besides Belade at 1 for 3 that's shooting under 50%. You got Jimmy Moon at 5 for 7, Curtis at 4 for 6, Slaventis at 4 for 8 at 50%. So I mean, all around this team is just kind of playing into their roles and playing their kind of their brand of basketball.
And I said it before, I mean, when you got the Vulcans coming in ranked top 25 in the country, you're going to get every team's best game in and game out, and that's what Seton Hill's giving you. They're giving you the best punches that they can throw, and credit to the Vulcans, they're hanging with them and being able to fight back themselves.
It's like an old interview from Grayson Allen, the former Duke Blue Devil. He says, you know, everybody that comes in and plays in this Cameron Indoor Stadium, it's like their Super Bowl. And they're going to bring their best, and that's really what this California Vulcans team has experienced this year. Everybody that plays them knows that they have to play their best basketball to stand a chance, because this is a great basketball team. As Collins finds Palak down low, the smaller Belade on him. He's going to take him to the rack. I mean, that's exactly what you have to do when you have a smaller defender on you like that.
Yeah, Keith has been here for so long. He knows where his spots are on the court, continuing to evolve his game. We see him step out and knock down a couple of mid-ranges, a couple of threes. Back to the basket game there is on point as well.
Keith Palak averaged 18 a game for this squad last year when they were without Zion Collins, and KJ McClurg was kind of just getting his feet kind of into the organization. A great take there by Belade as he finishes on the left side with the right hand. A great take there by McClurg as he creates some contact, and he's going to go to the line for two. Really the signature to McClurg's game is he's always able to create contact, but tonight, only 2 free throws for him tonight, and that's not something he's used to.
Yeah, but I think if you're McClurg, you feel like you've been bumped a good bit earlier in this game on some of those shot attempts, and finally just feeling relieved that the officials are calling some of these to get him to the free throw line now.
McClurg had 12 in that first half. He's up to 17 on the game. Like we said, only shot 2 free throws so far, but number 3 and 4 here. First one, bounces all around the rim and finds the bottom, giving Cal back their 1-point lead, and he's trying to extend it to 2. McClurg puts up the second free throw, and it's good. California with the 75-73 lead, just under 7 minutes to play here in this PSAC West Conference game. Curtis, guarded by Palak, now has the smaller Whitehead on him. I'm sure he's going to try to take him to the basket. He gets out to Sean Dillon, his first 3 of the night, and around the rim off the backboard, and somehow finds its way in.
Yeah, that's a great roll, but, I mean, that's just more credit to what Keidra Curtis has been able to do, creating inside, getting that switch with the smaller guard in Whitehead, leaving somebody open to it for a 3.
Great shot there by Whitehead, but back to your point, I mean, Palak was trying to stay close to help Whitehead out, and that's kind of what gave Sean Dillon the open 3-pointer, and they capitalized on it, but California was quick to get their lead back on a shifty jump shot there by Donald Whitehead. And a deep 3 here from Brewer. He's kind of feeling himself off the back rim, no good. Zion Collins coming back the other way. They're going to slow it down. Just under 6 to go, 1-point lead for the Vulcans. Whitehead gets it to Collins, Collins to Palak. Palak up top to Whitehead, Whitehead on the aggressive drive. Floater no good, in and out, and the rebound by Belade. Belade running the length of the floor. He puts it up off the backboard, no good. Great rebound by Palak. Great outlet pass as well as he gets it to McClurg. McClurg tries to create some contact. No call, but he will finish at the rim.
Yeah, showing off great strength and balance there to be able to fight through that contact and still able to convert that 2-point on the layup.
Back to your point on James Harden, a little bit of a James Harden Euro step nice there if I've ever seen one, and a great finish there by McClurg. Green with it now, guarded by Lucas. The handoff to Dillon. He's going to try his luck from 3 again, and he's going to connect again. A little bit of a celebration as well as he's kind of getting going.
Yeah, neither team is letting the opposing pull apart in this game. See, being able to hit that 3 to keep it close.
All tied up here. Bryson Lucas down low, the smaller Belade on him, and he's going to finish at the rim with a little bit of English on it, off the backboard and in.
Just a ton of contact down low and not being able to get these foul calls, but, I mean, being able to fight through that just shows we're not looking for bailout calls here. We're trying to get buckets.
There's a timeout here by Seton Hill, and head coach Ben Wilkins wants to talk it over, but, I mean, like you said, they've created contact all night, and to be honest, I'm surprised we're not seeing Danny Sankum. I mean, he's talking to the ref now, but I'm surprised we're not seeing him a little more charismatic because he's looking for some foul calls. I mean, Seton Hill does have 6 fouls this half, but it seems like California, every time they come down the floor, they're getting beaten up a little bit, but they're still finding ways to finish at the rim.
Yeah, Coach Sankum usually very animated. I mean, he fights for his guys. If he's not willing to go to war with his guys to get the calls that they deserve, officials is not giving them today, but as long as they're calling them equal on both sides of the court, most of the time you're okay with them.
will say this is one of the calmest I've actually seen Danny Sankum in a close game. He's usually electric and trying to get, the refs on his side. I don't want to say on his side, but kind of able to hear his point of view. And tonight we haven't seen too much of that, but right there, he had a little bit of a conversation just to kind of clear things up. California now with a 2-point lead coming out of the timeout. Slaventis on the drive, guarded by Whitehead. The aggressive pass over in the corner to Rice, who gets it up to Meese. Meese looking for it. He's going to shoot the three off the rim and no good, and the rebound by Zion Collins.
Yeah, that one was online, though. Had a great view from our point, just a little bit too far.
And it's like one of those shots that you see happen, and you're not really from our angle, like you said. It looked like it was going down, and heart sank a little bit, but nonetheless, the Vulcans coming back the other way with the lead and the ball. Gets it to Palak. Palak looking for somebody. He's going to drive. Finds McClurg in the corner for three. He gets hit, but no call from the ref once again. And I'm not sure what the ref didn't see there, as he didn't even have any space to land at all. But Seton Hill coming back the other way. Slaventis with the pass over. Now Whitaker with it. Whitaker with the smaller McClurg on him, but McClurg plays with some heart. He's not going to let himself get bullied. And a little Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hook shot there, no good. And the rebound by Bryson Lucas. Lucas now up to 8 rebounds on the night, 15 points, 5 assists. Really filling the stat sheet in every category right now. And the behind the back look from Bryson Lucas to Keith Palak for the wide open lay-in. What a move.
I called it, man. This team's a walking highlight tape. It is not dunking the ball. Like I said, it's crossing over, sometimes making the jump shots, or just the fun passes right there.
Lucas actually 9 rebounds, so he's up to 15 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. And that's going to be a charge. What a great take there by Zion. As he was smiling, laying on the ground before the call even went through. He knew he was just outside that restricted area, and he was in the right place at the right time once again.
Taking charges do so much for your team, showing that you're willing to do the gritty activities to get the ball in your favor. And it hurts other teams too, because you're like, man, I really had a good look at that basket there, heard the whistle, potentially a blocking foul, and then it's on you.
I mean, back to the point I made earlier, and you're Seton Hill, you're thinking you want to play as aggressive as you can now that you're, in the bonus and everything, but all of a sudden, fouls really lining up with each other, as Seton Hill with 7 fouls this half, California with 8. And, the whistle's kind of been in favor of the Vulcans these last couple minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes left to go in this game, 79-83. There's going to be a nail-biter all the way down to the end. It's going to come down to the small details there, taking charges, making the right passes to limit turnovers. That's what's going to decide this game at the end.
Seton Hill, not a team to take lightly, like we talked about earlier. They might have a negative conference record, but they've really put up fights in every single one of their games. Even just last week, only losing to the top-seeded Gannon at a score of 83-79. So they were able to stick in that game all the way till the end, and they're doing the same here. As the score of this game is the final score of that last Gannon game.
Yeah, like I said earlier, this conference is going to give some of the best competition possible in any sport. And talking about the basketball in general, both of these teams are battle-tested. They've played the tough games. Everybody's seen each other at least once now. So you kind of got a feel for what the other team is looking to do and got an idea how to stop them and make your game plan work a little bit better.
Coming out of the media timeout here, California coming back out with it. Whitehead with it. Gets it over to Collins. Collins to the high post. Palak. Palak going to step back, shoot a 3. And, man, what a bucket there by Keith Palak to extend this lead to 7. Just under 3 to play.
That's a great job of understanding the zone and how it's working. You've been making that play where you turn around getting a quick pass down low, or you turn around and kicking it out to somebody else. And that time just a little switch up, backing up. The defender, loses him and making that jump shot.
Pass by Moon. What a great save there by Jimmy Moon. Wow. That is a game-changing save there by Moon as he gets it to Green, and Green connects on the three-pointer.
Mr. Moon, I'm sorry for making the comment earlier about picking up the cornhole back, since you're out here making plays today.
Moon, another key contributor of this offense. Zion Collins with a 3 from the corner, and man, they are not slowing down by any means. Zion extends this lead once again.
I don't think he's missed a three here in the second half. 4 of 4, I believe.
You are right there as he's connected on all of his buckets here in this second half. And that's exactly what he's doing, is getting buckets. As they make the stop there on defense. Under 2 to play now. 89-82 in favor of the California Vulcans. And Danny Sankum going to take a timeout here to kind of get his guys on the same page.
Up 7 now. The Vulcans might be one of their biggest leads of the game so far today.
And you are right, as Zion Collins up to 4 3-pointers on the night, 4 for 7, and he was 0 for 3 in that first half. So connected on every 3-pointer he's taken in this half. And I mean, you love to see it from the fifth-year senior.
Yeah, you know what they say, shooters are going to shoot.
I said it earlier, Zion Collins doesn't end up number 8 all-time California Vulcans history in scoring by luck or just by chance. I mean, he's worked his tail off since he's been recruited by this Vulcan squad, and it's all coming to fruition now as he's on a team that's capable of making a big run in this PSAC tournament coming up here soon, and they want to make sure they're on the same page and playing their best basketball when the season comes to an end.
And going back to Coach Sankum's first year here, wasn't inheriting the best situation, not able to really recruit his guys, but when he did get them in and they got the opportunity to play as freshmen, it really showed them everything that they're going to see and allowed Coach Sankum to develop a lot of trust in these guys to make the correct play.
Talking with all of them, they all credited Sankum and just being able to allow them to be themselves and building the best game plan each game that they take part of. And the look down there to Palak. Palak tried to find the cutting Lucas, no good. And here's Zion for 3 again. And man, this guy right now is just putting this team on his back and allowing this game to be his. All of a sudden, California with their biggest lead of the night, 92-82. Meese forces up a 3, a rebound by McClurg. And this game is all but said and done, as McClurg going to get fouled there. 10-point lead with just over a minute to play. And their best free throw shooter outside of Whitehead going to go to the line.
Yeah, I said it earlier in the game, this being a game of runs, no team really allowing the other to pull ahead, but the Vulcans capitalizing on this run, being able to extend to 10 with the opportunity to add a couple more points here at the free throw line.
Zion Collins, I can't stress enough how great he has been tonight, as he is up to 5 threes now, 18 points, 16 of them coming in this second half, all 5 threes coming in this second half. Pass over to Green. And Bryson Lucas with the steal. This might be the explanation point they were looking for as he slams it home.
Someone better check that rim to make sure it's still tight.
And this is more of what we saw in pregame warm-ups, as everybody was kind of slamming it. Nice 3 there by Sean Dillon, cuts the lead down to 9. They're going to have to foul, and they do. And Zion, the man of the hour, going to the free throw line.
Could you imagine having the confidence mid-game, fast break to just attempt a windmill dunk?
And I mean, Bryson Lucas just showing his athleticism in every aspect of this game. Up to 17 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. A steal to go along with it right there. A big slam as an exclamation point. No good on the free throw there, and all of a sudden, Seton Hill does have a little bit of an opportunity here. They got to score quick as Curtis on the drive. He does exactly that, and the timeout by head coach Ben Wilkins. All of a sudden, 7-point game, 42 seconds left. I mean, a couple made free throws could end this game, but that's what it's going to take, is a couple made free throws.
Yeah, speaking of free throws, that's a very smart play there on the defensive side by Keith Palak, not to even try too hard to attempt to block a shot and contest that there, just giving them the layup, making sure not to send them to the free throw line for an and one opportunity. California's
been shooting good from the free throw line all night until those last 2 attempts, obviously, but on the night, 15 of 20. They were 15 of 17 before their last 3 misses, but you got to think that in order to seal this game out, they're going to have to make some free throws. And I will say the bright side is from here on out, any foul will give them a guaranteed 2 free throws. So at least they'll have 2 chances at it rather than having to make the first.
And ever since Seton Hill was able to force California into that bonus situation, I don't feel like Seton Hill got to the free throw line as much there. Sometimes weren't as aggressive there on the offensive side of the court, and a lot of turnovers led to opportunities for the Vulcans to extend this lead to what we see now.
42 seconds to play. California with a 7-point lead, 94-87. Both teams in the bonus. California will become in the double bonus on the next foul, so depending on who gets the ball here, they'll go to the line for 2 free throws. 5 on the floor for Seton Hill. James Rice, Brewer, Slaventis, Curtis, and Whitaker, as they're just trying to kind of somehow claw their way back into this game with less than a minute to play. As Zion Collins, KJ McClurg, Donald Whitehead, Bryson Lucas, and Keith Palak on the floor for the Vulcans. They get it to McClurg, who gets it to Donald Whitehead, over a 90% free throw shooter, but he gets it up to Palak. Palak, not necessarily who you want shooting these free throws, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. And they were able to take almost 10 seconds off the clock there.
Palak could have easily went for a Showtime dunk of his own there on that possession, but chose for the smarter option, take more time off the clock and force him to foul.
Keith Palak, 66% free throw shooter, a little bit of a smaller sample size because of the games he had missed. 19 for 29 coming into the game. Been shooting well from the free throw line as of late, though. He kind of had a slow start in his first couple games back, but he's been picking it up in these last few as he was a key contributor in that IUP win. He played pretty well in their game on Saturday against Gannon despite the loss, and he's just seen his minutes grow more and more with each game as he's starting to get healthier.
Yeah, he's just a very reliable player. You know, someone you're going to put in the game and you know what you're going to get. Tremendous effort, smart decision making, and a great ability to knock down those jump shots from wherever he's out on the court. Speaking of jump shots, I mean, some guy that we talked about in the first half only having 2 points to end that first half, Zion Collins, now with 18 here with 34 seconds left to add to that.
Zion's definitely been the key contributor of the second half for this Vulcan squad, and you have to think it's a sigh of relief after fouling out of their last game. Slaventis on the drive kind of lowered the shoulder a bit to get the blocking foul there, but I mean, when you're down by 9 with less than a minute left, this is what you want to do. You want to be able to get some points while the clock's not moving.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to try to do here. Jermaine Hill and Keith Palak swapping places in back-to-back possessions as they want Keith out there for offense and Jermaine out there for the defense. First free throw by Slaventis is good. Cuts the lead down to 8 with 31 seconds to play. Both teams will now be in the double bonus going forward. Second free throw is good as well. Subs coming in for Seton Hill as Brewer and Whitaker check into the game for Meese and Dillon. Kind of a sloppy pass there by Zion as he wasn't able to find Donald Whitehead. And Seton Hill all of a sudden only down 7 points, 30 seconds left. They do have the ball now. They can cut this lead down to, 4 or 5 here with a 2 or 3 pointer. It's not over till it's over, and you gotta just hope that the Vulcans are able to play some aggressive defense here and make a stop. It's the pass in to Curtis. Curtis gets it to Meese. Meese forces up the 3, tries to draw a foul. Nothing there. The rebound by Curtis. He puts it up. He'll get fouled and go to the line for 2.
And Meese got a good shot at the 3 there. Left it short. A great job by the defender there, kind of using his face as a backboard to bounce off and give another possession for Seton Hill Griffins.
Meese was trying to, plead his case for a foul there as he was, slightly touched on the way through. But, I mean, end of a game like this, it's kind of hard to call a foul on a 3-point bucket unless it's an obvious one or a 3-point shot.
If you've seen what happened to KJ McClurg on the opposite side in that corner there, there's not much to complain about. I mean, KJ completely got his legs taken out there and should have been a foul if anything there.
Curtis at the free throw line. About a 70% shooter on the year. First one off the front rim and good. Seton Hill up to 90 points tonight. They're really showing that they can kind of keep up with the best of them when it comes to their offensive side of the game, and that's what they're doing here tonight.
Like we said, when Seton Hill's playing one of the best games that they played all season offensively from the efficiency standpoint.
Curtis' second free throw. Up and in. And like you said, I mean, Seton Hill shooting 59% from the floor tonight. California was just able to pick it up, and they're shooting 55%. So, I mean, both teams over the 50% mark, which is something you don't really see too often. But nonetheless, really, California with a 5-point lead here, 23 seconds left. And this is going to be a long 23 seconds. They're not going to let it just go ahead and bleed out the clock. They want every second they can get.
California just got to come up with a good inbound play. We've seen the Griffins on the previous possession. They're going to put pressure on whoever that inbounder is to make a bad pass. Got to do a good job of getting open on the back half and catching up well.
California is 17 for 23 from the free throw line tonight. So you have to think that they're going to probably get 2 more free throws here as long as they can get the inbound in. I mean, last possession they did struggle to get the inbound in. As Zion kind of threw it out of bounds, looking for Donald Whitehead. And I mean, ideally, that's who you want to get it to is Whitehead. He's a 90% free throw shooter coming into the game. I believe he's 2 for 2 tonight. So that percentage is still climbing. And they're going to say there was actually a foul on Brewer, who was guarding Palak before the pass even came in. So Palak will be the one to go to the line for 2. Jermaine Hall and Keith Palak really are just switching back and forth between defensive and offensive possessions, as he's going to check into the game after the 2 free throws as long as Palak's able to connect on the second one.
Yeah, both teams using that offensive and defensive substitutions here to try to give themselves the best situation for them to be able to create an opportunity here.
Palak's first free throw is good, extends the lead to 6. The free throw here would make it a 3-possession game and likely out of reach, but I mean, I don't want to say anything too soon because less than a minute ago they had a 10-point lead. So Palak checking out after making both free throws. Jermaine Hall checking in. 98-91. Slaventis bringing it up the court. They got to score quick. He drives to the basket, off the backboard and in. 98-93. Jermaine Hall looking down the court. Gets it to Zion Collins, who's going to finish with the emphatic slam. And a little bit of argument down there as it seemed like it hit the inbounder after being tipped by Lucas, but regardless, Seton Hill still with possession. California breaking the 100-point mark as they are up 100-93. Meese trying to force a 3, gets around Zion Collins and doesn't even hit any part of the rim. 8 seconds left now. California with the ball and a 7-point lead. I feel like maybe I'm safe now to say that this game is all but over, but the last thing I want to do is give a broadcaster's curse to anyone, especially my own team. It's the deep pass to Bryson Lucas as he brings it down like a wide receiver. Gets it to KJ McClurg. They're going to choose not to foul, and that's the end. As California secures the win coming off the loss to Gannon by a score of 100-93. And any final thoughts there, Noah?
I mean, like I said in the first half, resiliency was going to be key here in this game. A little bit of adversity the Vulcans had to face early on. All it does is build character, and you see they're able to play Vulcan basketball and pull away here at the end of the game.
This was Andrew White and Noah Mitchell with PSAC Sports Network and CUTV Sports 1. We'll see you on Saturday when we're hosting Slippery Rock. Thank you guys for listening.